Alright, so they got the Razor. Razor's very good against Gyro, very good against Undying, so I'm a pretty big fan of that. So I think this Shaker is a support, and that's why I went for this replay, because the last Shaker that I did, like I've done one Shaker before, and that Shaker that Shaker was offlane, but I think this Shaker will be a support. Nope, he's offlane as well. Alright, so my mistake. He gets a boots, he gets the ward off a support, and then he runs down to place it. Very simple. This ward, so this is the ward when you expect the enemy to de-ward here.
First blood.
That hardly hurt at all.
First blood.
Well, that's unlucky as hell. Who got bounties? Okay, they got both bounties. Oh, your comp is actually safe lane. Okay. And Brazer's mid then? Against the Tinker. I mean, this is fine. Both will probably just like trade farm. Tinker will, yeah, Brazier will like do this every now and then, but the Tinker doesn't mind too much. He just stacks camps and uses March of the Machines. Very simple. He'll probably be getting points into Unstable to deal with the laser spam, but it's fine. Oh, they're trilaning. Wow, this is... Alright. Okay, so, you're playing offlane Shaker and you have a pot up here. Usually when you're playing offlane Shaker, you want to get your levels. So you kind of want you kind of want to be solo. When you have a Potom helping, usually that means you'll be getting more out of the lane. For example, when they have a solo, the Visage here. So that's fine, just for now. But I'm just talking about general cases. When you're playing offlane Shaker, usually you're going to be fissuring the lane, like up here, at 0 minutes, and then you're going to be using a clarity so that the creeps end up in a better position for you. You can do that now, but it's not that important because only Visage is getting levels here. He is getting like full levels. Well, you're denying creeps because you have 2 heroes and stuff like that. But in general, you're going to be needing that. This guy should be spamming Grave Chill on you, but he's not. Like, he should be using Grave Chill and hitting you like 4 or 5 times. Like, every time it's off cooldown. So... not sure what that's about, but I guess he's afraid of Potom a little bit, and Potom is going mid. Oh, I was wondering why he wasn't dying, like why he wasn't using decay. Oh, he gets a regen rune here. He doesn't have boots, so the creeps will cancel it. But he can still... Oh, actually, he walks uphill. No. Oh, and this guy gets a bottle refill from the Potom tipping in. That's alright.
Yes.
Sorry, back to Shaker. Alright, so Shaker, you want to get levels. I don't think you should concede the lane to get the rune here. The reason why offlanes usually get the rune is because they're being zoned out. But when it's just a Visage, you can actually just sit in the lane and you can't do much. Like, you can just fissure the creeps to bring it back if you really want to. That's always available to you. In general, I would get the Mango Tango double clarity Soul Ring recipe build. You went for the boots build, which was also prevalent in the last game. It's marginal which one's better. It really depends on the situation. For example, in this situation, it doesn't matter which one you go. The build that I recommend, since you would have more regen and you would have a Soul Ring by now, since you'd have a Soul Ring right now and you have a Mango, you would actually be more sustainable in lane. So you keep that in mind that you would have more health and more mana going that build. But of course, you don't have your boots. So if you get ganked with that build, you're going to be kind of wrecked. This guy got the triple kill. Hold on to him. Yeah, you're just in a 1v1. This is a very easy Shaker game. So you should be able to get your levels really easily. I think it looks like you're going either for mana boots or for blink, but you've already got the goal for mana boots. You should always keep a TP when you're playing like this. But you shouldn't plan on using it too much. So it looks like you're going for mana boots and a TP here. No? Okay, you just walked in and did nothing and got hit. I recommend getting your Soul Ring and then going for Blink, like after maybe Tranquils. When you get Yeah, okay. When you get mana boots, you're actually slowing down your blink by way too much. Of course, this is a really good timing. You have 4 minutes arcane boots on offlane, which is really good. But of course, you're in a 1v1, so it's kind of expected a bit better to do a bit better than usual. This lets you fissure creeps a lot more, but so does Soul Ring, and Soul Ring costs less. And you can go for your blink. It also gives you health regen. This doesn't give you any health regen. So instead of this, you would actually have 4 health regen if you went my build, because you would have the Soul Ring regen, which is 2, and you would have the Mango regen, which is 1. And plus your 1.2 natural. Good arrow. Good kill.
Back to Earth.
I would recommend getting at least 1 point enchant totem, however. Maybe instead of the 3rd point fissure. I'd be 2-2-1 usually at level 5. And notice how your health is so low. So unless you're ferrying regen, you're kind of going to be zoned out of lane as soon as they come back.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Your ward is expiring soon. I mean, it shouldn't matter too much.
Dire's top tower.
So notice how zoned out you are. If at this point you had the other build, you would have Tranquils, you would have Soul Ring, and you would be full health with like more mana, like around this much mana. But also you would have less lower mana pool. You would only have 300 mana total, kind of thing. So keep that in mind. That's like the trade-off. But that trade-off usually doesn't matter because you only need enough mana to fissure until like level 6, 7, and then at that point you have enough leverage to get a fissure and a ulti off if you need it. But in general, you're still a walking fissure. You need to get your blink, which is like this hero is a blink hero, right? And you need your blink as soon as possible. So that's why you would get a you want to get the Soul Ring Tranquils build because it's cheaper than Arcane Boots and like maybe Bottle for the health. I mean, you can just do without the health, but I mean, it's better to have the health regen. I will speed up the game a bit more now, just because it doesn't look like your team is just making rotations around the map and you're just farming, which is absolutely fine. But notice how you have to walk back to base, so you're actually losing a lot of efficiency here. You are going towards your blink. It looks like the enemy is just giving you your blink in the offlane because they're focusing. I recommend going back. Okay, so you just reloop back around and you go back to your lane. Very good. You should be in your lane right now. You should be. I like that you're staying around for the fissure, but you should be able to. Like, you shouldn't have to go back to base. You should have Tranquils, Mango, and a Soul Ring, which all give you health regen. Like, so it's basically standing in the fountain, but not in the fountain. You TP in and you get the Echo. Okay, so they're here. And you TP in. And they expect... Like, this guy gets arrowed. You get the Echo onto him. And you get the fissure. Very good. After that, I would be very, very careful. Once you've dropped your spells... Wow. Once you've dropped your spells, you have to be very, very careful about where you're standing. But that brought you very close to your blink. If you went the other build, I will stress again, you would pretty much have your blink right now. Like, you could probably sell the Mango and get the blink now. Or sell, like, an extra clarity or something. You would pretty much have it. Instead, you will have about 600 gold to go. 700 gold to go. Now you have to make a decision about where to move. So your TP is on cooldown, but even if your TP wasn't on cooldown, I would still make the decision of walking. And as soon as your team died here, I would actually start walking mid, because no one on your team is farming here. Also, no one's farming here, but you don't have a tower, so it's harder to go top. I would be farming mid as your Shaker right now, because you're not doing anything walking around, waiting here. The thing is, if you wanted to be here later, you could TP in. And if you were here, you could actually walk around through here and get the flank. Your team gets the kill on Undying, then you die to Razor. So Vicious gets 2 kills there, and Tinker's still farming. So this is where you lose out a lot on efficiency. Yeah, this Tinker was behind earlier in the game. Your team was making good rotations. Your Cop and your Razor were on top of the game. However, they're losing now. Like, they're lower in net worth. Why does Cop catch up there? Does he get a kill? I mean, it's very close, but I don't know. Like, I feel like your team is losing a lot on efficiency because you're not catching up. You are getting more farm now, though, so that's good. After they took the tower, they were leaving you alone. Alright, you got a blink. That's good.
Dire's middle tower is Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Alright, I'll slow this down and I'll go back 2 ticks or something. Okay, so they're posturing to push mid. I mean, they're pushing mid. So you have your Moonlight up and you're thinking about what to do. So you just got your Blink Dagger and now you're TPing in and then you get arrowed. Alright, so that's defense over. Like straight away, your defense is over because you TP'd in there and you got arrowed. Get out. You do get the pick off on the arrow, that's very good. So now the defense is a little bit more alive. The enemy wasn't pushing this tower though, that's very, very surprising from them. And Razor gets the pick off there. So you get 2 pick-offs out of nowhere. And those heroes should have just been picked. Yeah. Huge echo. So they get picked off twice and then they're backing off. And when they're backing off, they group up like this, you get the big echo here. This is the snowball starter. So the early game starts slow. The early game starts slow, but after that, you're very, very postured to do well this game.
Middle tower is under attack.
You can start so there's a few builds you can go with the Earthshaker. You can either get Force Staff, you can get Glimmer Cape, you can get Yule Scepter, you can get Shadow Blade. All of these have different functions. Like obviously, all of these have different functions, and each one is based on how much farm you're getting. So from that Echo, you got something like 400, like 1,000 gold. Like around 1,000 gold. That's why you got your Sub-Wizardry, correct? That is, it looks like building into a Full Staff. Full Staff is very good this game. Full Staff can get you out of Undying Tomb range. It can get you out of Gyro Rocket range. Not Rocket, cooldown range. So that's a pretty decent build. Full Staff is one of those items that's always pretty good. Same with Yule Scepter. Yule Scepter is also always very good. Yule Scepter is less good this game because the only thing that you're really doing with the Yule Scepter is against the Tinker Rockets and the cooldown from the Gyro. But remember, when you're Yule Sceptered, you're also still setting up for Rubik to like walk up to you and stun. You're also setting up for the zombies. The zombies will still spawn on you when you're Yule Sceptered. They won't hit you, but they will spawn on you.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Alright, let's see where we're at. The game is split up right now. Tinker's just farming, you're just farming. Like, not you, your team is just farming, sorry. Like, Quap is farming. I like Quap's idea of getting Midas early because that stops you from falling off too much. She could have Ags now though, I don't know. I mean, she's gonna... Why, she's not gonna die here? That's impressive. Well, I mean, she just mashes Blink, but I mean, it's very confusing that she didn't die there. I truly expected, like, before the Blink would go down, during the lift, that the Gyro with the Undying buff and the Rubik's wave, she'd be able to, she would die there. Good Blink there before Visage Familiars killed you. Alright. I feel like the Radiant team is trying to force it too much. Like, if they were trying to force this much, this Gyro should have went drums for the early game, like, benefit. It's good posturing for Echo. But, same deal as most games, you kind of don't want to just stand there. Like, unless you're playing a support, you only need one core there, like a Quap, to, like, spam out the waves, while your Earthshaker should be farming and then TPing in if you need to.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Tinker is fucking annoying there. So that gives them the tower.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Plus their Tombstone. So Tombstone plus Tinker is really amazing. And Visage Birds lets the Tinker TP anyway. To be able to defend this tower, you kind of need to smoke your team around here. To catch the, what do you call it? The Gyro and the Visage at the back. Oh, and Rubik as well, I guess. And try to pick them off really early. Get the arrow? Arrows are also very good at being able to defend towers like this. Yep. Full stuff, so that's very good. This kind of solves your health problem a little bit. You're past the laning phase, so it doesn't matter as much. Like, you don't need as much health survivability, but like health regen anyway. Alright, so it looks like they're just backing up. They might smoke here, or they don't have a smoke. Alright. Back to farming, now you're becoming aggressive. Enemy hung around though. Okay, so this guy is setting up marches, this guy used static field, this guy also used static field. Plasma field, sorry. Alright, you get to pick up onto Undying. It looks like Lion is dying.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Razor's here, you're posturing still. So you have to be careful not to posture for too long, because you postured for so long that the fight was already like over. I'm not blaming you for this fight. That fight was completely fine. Like you traded like that's whatever. But in most fights, I will find an Earthshaker if they don't get that like 5-man echo, they'll just walk around doing nothing, and that is kind of game losing. Like if they don't give you the big echo, you kind of have to take it at some point. It's something that you have to get a feel for, which you have to play Earthshaker a lot for, but it's something definitely to think about, to watch out for. Oh, this is 4,300 MMR. 4,400, something like that. Oh, Razor. So you get the echo onto this guy.
Sound of mine.
Soul Assumption does almost as much damage as your echo did. Oh, a couple almost got out. I don't want to talk about too much. I feel like I'm talking too much about execution. So I want to not talk about how you took that team fight, but instead I'll talk about your decision making. I wonder if you can dodge rocket damage, because you can manta out of rocket damage. I wonder if Potom can leap at like a very specific moment to dodge the rocket. Like it'd be like you'd have to be like almost pixel perfect, but I think it's possible. Okay, so your skill build. I think it's okay, but I think you want to start getting more damage from Enchant Totem. So I would only have maybe 3 in Fissure and 2 in Aftershock, and I would have max Enchant Totem here, so that you can start doing more for your team, like doing more damage, I guess. Because like the setup is you have your W active, you blink in, you echo, you fissure, you W again, and then you hit them, and then you W again, and then hit them again. So you actually get 2 Enchant Totem hits every time, because this spell has 15-second uptime, or 14-second uptime, and 5-second cooldown. So you can actually have that on like whenever you want to initiate. Keep that in mind. Say it's kind of like Ursa. Ursa can enrage and then go blink in, hit someone 6 times, and then enrage again, like overpower or whatever is like super fast attacks is. Ursa is the same as Earthshaker in that way. Alright, so you almost have your 4 staff. It's good that you're giving your team a bit more farm. I'm not sure if that's by choice or if your team is just taking the farm. You don't need as much farm as your other heroes in this game. You want to make sure that your Lion gets his Blink Dagger, gets his Tranquils, gets his Glimmer Cape. You want to make sure that your Crop can keep her like lead going, as well as your Razor can like get his Ags, so you can push towers with it. Okay, so they... Whoa, okay. I was messing with the speed controls a bit too much there. Okay, so they pick off the Rubik, and they stay here. This guy gets arrowed. They should not be running in here. They go for the Razor here, but they set up a perfect Echo. That very nice capitalization. Tinker comes in.
You just proved my theory. They never miss.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, that is really a really hard death to take. That's unfortunate. I don't want to say unlucky because it wasn't luck, but yeah. Tinker got the cleanup after your big Echo. Like both teams made a big mistake. They got the Rubik, they didn't back up. You got the Echo. You got the Echo, you didn't back up, and then you all died to Tinker. Like this guy, Mirana and Earthshaker died here, without necessarily needing to. While the Radiant team, pretty much everyone died without needing to because they all got echoed, which is not supposed to happen, of course. Tinker is setting up to snowball quite hard here. Bloodstone is a pretty big choice here. I'm not sure if it's the right choice, but it's a pretty big choice. It makes him very tanky against your team's burst, so I'm definitely not opposed to it. plus like the respawn timer and stuff like that in case you get bursted.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Monster kill.
And Tinker's getting a lot of bloodstone charges, that's good. Yeah, he doesn't need to upgrade Dagon too much there. Good. Like, no one on your team tanks up way too much. Like, Razor a little bit, Quap a little bit.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But Tinker can get a sheep stick later. Instead he's just pressuring. Yeah, it's good.
Radiant structures are fortified. Such a little dead.
Not sure about that TV though. So the Radiant team is pushing here. Tinker's here, half mana, still ready to fight. You get the fissure on, you get the echo fissure onto these two. You try to burst down this guy. Notice that if you had 2 totem hits, you would have been able to kill them. You get that kill, you get that kill. That's good. Tinker TP's in here, trying to get the kill onto this guy. He gets sheep. That's what. Okay, so he gets sheep by the lion. He wanted to one-shot the lion, but he didn't have enough damage. So that is, he got bloodstone instead of Dagon upgrades. Because if he had Dagon upgrades there, he would be able to kill the lion. I mean, this guy's just dead. But, yeah, that's the difference between Bloodstone and Dagon, I guess. I think it's fine. He just needs to respect, like, when you get... Dagon has a very specific damage protocol. Dagon does 300 damage right now. Like, if someone has 300 health and you hit them with Dagon, they will die. That is how much damage Dagon does. Actually, it's more like 299, but, 300 damage on Dagon. So if he upgrades Dagon, he's getting 75 damage per level. Yeah, that's magic resistance, unless someone has hood and something like that. But whoa, I mean, maybe he knows that everyone's not here. Like if you're playing the game, you have a feel for this kind of thing. But if you're blinking here against the Dire team and the entire Dire team standing here and here, you're gonna die. So I think he needs to be a bit more careful about that. Otherwise, no, he's playing fine. I don't like Shadowblade and Gyro. He needs BKB against this team. He also needs to do more damage, maybe get like a butterfly after his BKB. BKB is like core on Gyro, because that hero already does enough damage, so you need a BKB just to live. Because you're like nearby everyone. He does have a Solar Crest on the Visage though, so this does give him a lot of damage. Like Solar Crest is really good on Visage. Familiars do like bonkers damage. Rubik needs either Ags or Blink. I would go for Ags this game. There's so many good spells on the Dire team to steal. Ags is very good. Yeah, your team does lack initiation though, but this team isn't much initiation based. It's more like, except for Tinker, the Radiant team is more like walk into them kind of heroes, like Visage, Undying, and Gyro, just like walking into people and fighting. So yeah, they killed the Quap and I mean, they took a tower, it's fine. They're going for a top 10. Fast forwarding a little bit. I mean, this game is way too long to like go through each bit. So I'm kind of glossing over. But okay, so I talked about everyone a little bit. I'll talk about the Shaker again. Once again, keep in mind that you can keep your W active before you go in, so you get 2 hits off. That's the easiest critique. That if you take anything away from this, that's what you take. Very good item choice with the Glimmer Cape and the Force Staff. The Glimmer Cape is obviously very good against Tinker, very good against Gyro. Force Staff is good against Gyro and Undying, as I mentioned before. It's also pretty good against Visage. You can get away from familiars with it. This is where you need to identify what your team lacks and move towards that. So when you look at your team has lockdown. Your team has lockdown. Especially, your team also has the frontliner. Your frontliner is your Razor. Well, you didn't go Ags. Well, your frontliner is Razor, and your Quap will get quite tanky later in the game. Also with like, she also helps out with the lockdown because of her like 4-second Shadow Strike. This spell is bullshit. 4-second Shadow Strike. Like if Quap gets Shadow Strike on multiple people, it's a really big deal for you. Plus Lion and Earthshaker, you got the stun. Plus Arrow is like a pseudo stun. Yeah, so your team is lacking damage, not disable. So in this case, when you're playing Earthshaker, where do you want to get your damage from? So you want to get your damage from, like you have 2 choices for where you get damage from. You either get it from your spells or you get it from your like auto attack, right? So heroes like Gyro kind of try to do both. Heroes like Tinker get it from its spells and items, like Dagon is a spell, I'm gonna say, piece of realm. Heroes like Juggernaut get it from auto attacks. Very simple. When you're Shaker, you actually have the choice to get both. You can only get one or the other though. You can't get both. You get one or the other. You have your utility set up. Now you can start dealing damage. Sometimes, like, when you do this, you get the utility first. You're kind of locked into utility, so you need to get Shivas and Sheep and stuff like that. But in this game, I think it's okay. Because some of these heroes are not necessarily tanky. Some of these heroes are very... I'll slow down. Some of these heroes are very tanky, but you need that extra bit of damage because your team is not able to burst down the Tinker anymore. Not able to burst down the Gyro or the Undying. So you need to get that crit or that, like, Shadow Blade or that... Deso, something like that, to just hit a bit harder. This relies very much on getting double enchant totem off, but if you get crit, like, Earthshaker can do a lot in this game. They have very low armor heroes, except the Visage. Like, except Visage, the enemy team has a very low armor. 4 armor on that guy, 4 armor on that guy. 17 on the carry is not that high, and Tinker has 10 with the aura. Yeah, your team is lacking in physical damage. Like, your Razor's the only one, and Razor does not have the farm to keep up. Like, he's doing okay, but he's not doing as well as he needs to be if you are to not go physical DPS on your Shaker. And you do eventually have to do it. See, smoke here. I'm not sure about that. I like the idea of smoking. I'm not sure. I like the idea of using smoke here, but I don't like the idea of using smoke like this here. Because your team, when you catch people, will not be able to one-shot. And so you get moonlighted here. Melted. Holy shit. Visage solo crested you and you literally died. I mean, that's what your blink is for. I'm not sure why you wanted to say blink there, but... I'm talking about mechanical mistakes again. I want to refrain from talking about mechanical mistakes, because I do it too much. And then just clean up because Tinker gets too much value out of Rion. And Gyro is very strong, very hard to fight into. Because your team doesn't do enough damage. This is kind of a team composition error, but also it's the fact that at this point in the game, if you're not far ahead, your Razor needs to do more damage, or you need to do more damage. Because your core heroes are supposed to be Quap, Razor, and Earthshaker. And Razor's supposed to steal damage from Gyro, but it doesn't seem to be happening because he doesn't do enough damage, and he also doesn't have enough health. This Razor, like, he has BKB now, which helps, but he doesn't tank enough. Like, Gyro will still be able to man-fight him, so it's a big deal. Especially if Gyro gets, like, the crit or the MKB, which he will soon. Butterfly is also very good. I mean, your team is just getting picked off now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Notice how the... Okay, so I'll slow down a little bit. Notice how the creeps are all in this area. The Radiant team, like the Tinker... Oh, you're gonna catch him here?
So this is
Oh, he gets listening. Alright, so notice how the creeps are all in, like, this area, yeah? Because of that, your team is restricted to that, and you can't farm. Like, this creep camp doesn't exist for you, and this creep camp doesn't exist for you, this creep camp doesn't exist for you, and this creep camp doesn't exist for you. You can sometimes catch this one, or this one. But, what I'm trying to state is that your team actually is so restricted in farm that the enemy will just out-resource you at some point. Like, if everyone on the Radiant team is 6-slotted, you can't do anything. So, like, no matter what, like, how good you are, if the entire enemy team is 6-slotted and you guys barely have 3 or 4 items on your core heroes, you're not going to be able to fight them. So them being able to restrict you here is a big problem, and that's something that Tinker and Naga are very good at. Furion is also very good at it. Like, you don't have this tower yet as well. It's not that important for Tinker, but it's important for map control. So the Radiant team has a very clear path to victory here. They can pick one off, so the bottom keeps dying. They pick, like, actually they don't even need to pick one off. They just need to fight this with vision. Like, picking someone off, like, allows them to take Roche without vision. But if they do pick someone off, then they can do this without vision. And The Radiant team can very easily take this with Gyro and like maybe Undying tanking or something like that. Because the Rocket Barrage does a lot of damage and Gyro does a lot of damage at this point. Tinker can rocket Tinker can laser Roche so Roche can't hit them. And yeah, this is a very easy Roche. They do enough damage. Not sure what they're waiting for now. So this guy is upgrading Dagon. He has his shape. I feel like at this point the game's over. Like, unless they throw really hard like that first game. I think this game is over. There's not too much to say. Like, all the mistakes were made in the mid game when your team wasn't able to capitalize on, like, having the team fights. You weren't able to lock them down, and you weren't able to get your damage off. Like, this plate mail should actually be a crit. You should get crit here. Like, your only way back into this game. Like, you're not gonna win this game if you got Shivas or an AC. Oh, AC maybe, but AC should be built on a tankier here. There's a good damage stolen. See how this teamfight goes. I mean, Gyro should not have been up that far by himself.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Pain without consequence.
Well, this guy can get some damage. That might be pretty good. Well, Scotty would be very good on this Razor. You can tank through the Tinker Blast, and you can also what do you call it? You can stop the DPS from the Gyro. Yeah, it's not. No, Scotty's actually very good. Plus, you can static link for longer because they are slower since you have Scotty's buff on them. So they're finally taking Roche. This is a little bit overdue. Oh yeah, I forgot that Visage. Visage with Medallion is very good. Solar Crest is very good.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Alright, so they take this and they just go mid, don't they? Like, I would farm for a little bit longer on this team. Just like 1 or 2 minutes. Oh snap, you guys caught them off guard. So what? So I thought they would just go mid here, but it looked like they were alone. Like they were just like 1 by 1. So these two, okay. So these three here, you guys moonlight in. You find Razor, you get the Echo off, you get the sheep onto the... Yeah, Corp gets the sheep onto Gyro and Gyro dies. And then once Gyro is dead, you guys take out the entire team. This was a very, very nice initiation. From the Razor getting caught randomly, he was able to BKB and steal damage. He did die, but I mean, this is totally worth. Like, they got AEST. So this is actually a way back into the game. Like, this initiation shouldn't be able to happen, but it happened because the enemy was too scattered. The Radiant had 3 heroes right here to get echoed, and the Tinker wasn't there, and the Visage wasn't, like, wait. It was either Visage or Rubik was, like, standing, like, all the way over here. So that allowed your team to take that initiation, and that's a big shot. I mean, that's very simple. You take a push a tower now. What's your... Okay, so you should actually sell this plate. Oh, wait, no, Lotus Orb's not bad.
Yes. It's probably not.
Very good pick off on the Tinker. You want to rest, reset, and then go back in. This Corp needs to get to base as soon as possible, or get like earned up and stuff. Earn is good. Yeah, so he needs to go back to base, and you need to make use of this time where the Tinker's dead. Like, this could have been this tower, or this tower. One of these towers could have been yours. It's definitely this tower. I don't think you could get this. It takes too long to push bot lane. Oh, so I'll just slow down a little bit. That was a very crucial point in the game for the Quap. The Quap needed to get travels, like blink over here as fast as possible, regen, and then TP here with your entire team and take this tower while the Tinker's dead, while the Gyro is, sorry, the Visage is dead. So that's something I want to note. So Radiant team is going again. It looks like they've lost direction a little bit. Like, Gyro still has no lifesteal. Usually, if you don't get lifesteal first, you will get lifesteal after your, like, one of your first items. You lost a gem there. They didn't take it, but you lost a gem there. Good thing Quap didn't get picked off though. I feel like the Radiant should have just won this game. Like, I don't know what happened. They had the Aegis, and they just, like, all three of their, like, supports got caught here with their Gyro.
Double damage.
This guy's Butterfly. Okay, let's slow down. So, Gyro is pushing in with the Butterfly. Tinker is spamming March because this is an asshole hero for assholes. It's probably going to be spamming items soon. Surprised he didn't get the sheep off onto this guy. Static Link is now draining with so much damage. Your team actually can't fight until... Oh, you got the her there. Both teams can't actually fight at this point. Radiant can't go because of Static Link. And this team can't go because of the high ground advantage and there's no, like, positioning
Radiant's top tower is
for the
under
Radiant.
attack.
So they just back off. Tinker farms. Gyro farms. What I expect... Okay, so what I expect to happen here is that the Gyro and the Tinker will eventually outclass your Quap. And your Quap won't be strong enough to take the fight. Good pickoffs there.
That was
So in this game, your team has a time limit. That was a smoke, yes. Your team has a time limit on how strong you will get. Because when you get to late game, Tinker and Gyro will win the game for them. Because this hero doesn't really cap as much as these heroes do. This hero can hit all of your heroes with Flat Cannon and do way too much damage because of, like, he's 6-slotted, right? Like, he will be 6-slotted soon. Oh, you get the initiation here. The sheep, the recursion. Good. The guy was out of position and you punished. So now you have to make use of this time. Not bad. This guy should not be here.
Enjoy your nap.
Oh gosh, he did it. This guy should not be here, as explained. I expected what these guys did to be here, but instead they waited. I don't know. So anyway, Tinker bought back. He's dead. If Gyro dies this game, they can literally throw. But yeah, no, make use of this time. So you can. There's no Tinker. You guys are pushing. That's very good.
Radiant's middle tower.
Good initiation here onto the Visage. Let's see what your team does. Static Link very good here against the Gyro. Oh, Gyro dies here and you win. Yes? Yes? No? Yes? He could be ran out.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower.
Alright, you push in here.
Barracks are- Radiant's
Unfortunately, you don't have these towers. Like, that's because of Tinker, so you can't push in the other racks. Oh, you thrown here.
Radiant's
Wait,
middle
you don't throw
tower
here?
is under attack.
You're all very low. I guess Tinker, when Tinker respawns, you do have to back.
Has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Huh?
Radiant's ancient.
I'm surprised Tinker didn't do more here.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Oh, I see what happens. You guys try to go for turn. Like, just go for it.
Once more into the breach.
Yeah, no, that was not the play. I think it's okay. You got the T4s down, and, like, it is very, very low. Like, you guys were close.
Radiant's bottom tower has
But in general, that kind of play will lose you the game more than it will reward you, kind of thing. You need to be very, like, sure you can deal the damage. And you have no carries that does enough damage in this situation. Like, you don't have your Juggernaut or your Troll or your Sniper or something like that. Like, you have Razor, but Razor doesn't do that much damage. Razor only does 170 damage. That's nothing this late in the game for a carry. And his farm is, like, respectable, yeah. Like, Razor does not do enough damage here. Because Razor doesn't do damage. Razor gets damage from stealing it from the enemy carry kind of thing. That's what he's supposed to do. They rush. You guys try to fight.
fallen to the radiant.
They do take rush. Gyro takes and drops Helm of Dominator. What is this crit? Ugh. So now they go for the counter push. I mean, you guys just stole. Oh, okay. That's better than stalling. You had to pick off. You trade BKBs. You kill Gyro. After this BKB is out. Tinker comes in. This guy comes in. Oh, they don't have detection. Oh my gosh. That is incredibly unfortunate for the Radiant. Okay, so you defended, so that's good. So you guys all died here, and you were able to defend. That's very good. You did give them Roche, but you also took out the AEST, so that's fine. This game is quite tight. I feel like it's close for the wrong reasons though. All right. Pulse build is very strong. You will eventually get rid of Ags, however, because your ult doesn't do like it always do a lot of damage, but like eventually you want to start like hitting hard with the Corp. So Corp should eventually sell this Aghanos maybe for a Butterfly or MKB or something like that, depending on what the So he needs MKB. So this Corp needs to start dealing more damage. So I would expect this goes for MKB whenever you like need your buyback and stuff like that. Actually, he has it now if you sell. He already has a Moonshot.
The prize is mine.
That's good. You guys are pressuring out this tower. That's very good because you need to be able to megas. Like if the T2 towers went out here early in the game, you guys wouldn't be able to end earlier. Very nice initiation, but then he's gonna get caught up. He blinks out. There's a good initiation, a bad follow-up. Is there any life still? Like, the comp needs to transition to some sort of DPS carry at some point. Like, so that she can sustain, like, if she has lifesteal, plus if she has, like, Skadi, then she will have way more health, kind of thing. Of course, you're limited by slots. Octarine is very good on this hero, Shiva is very good on this hero. You need your boots, you might need your BKB. Yeah, you need your BKB, so it's really hard to say what you need to buy. Looks like she's just saving gold. I definitely think Ags is the first item to go.
Regeneration.
Oh, she can actually just ult this. She could actually just ult these ancients and take them a tiny bit faster if she wanted to.
Perfect.
Lotus Orbs. Let's see what the Earthshaker's doing. Alright, so you went for a utility build because you went in your Lotus Orb, and it looks like you're going for Octarine core. Octarine's good. I think Hex is better for you at this point. The game is really late. The game is... Oh, you got the pick off Antika. This happens every now and then. You already have your like you're not worried about your own survival, so you actually don't need health. And Octarine only you only want the cooldown basically. And the cooldown rate actually is not as nearly as strong as because Sheep is better than all of your spells at this point in the game. Like Sheep is better than all of your spells. Fissure is marginally okay, comparable to Sheep. But I think Sheep is actually better than all your spells as a Earthshaker at this late in the game. I mean, I know, Echo still does enough damage, but...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I feel like... I don't know, I feel like it's just not enough. Like, you need to do things, and that's why you have your utility items. But I think instead of a Octarine, you should have a Sheep, yeah? And that would do better.
Haste.
I don't think you need to save buyback as an Earthshaker in this game. Alright, respawning Roche. See, the die is actually winning here because you have the racks right now, and they somehow are finding all these pickoffs onto the Tinker and the Gyro. I have no idea how. Gyro got a Divine now. I'm not sure why he didn't get Satanic first, why he hasn't got Bots first. Like, this guy doesn't have Moonshards, he didn't 6-slot yet, even slightly. Holy shit, he sold his boots. This may be the biggest mistake. This may have been the biggest mistake. And so this ends the game, correct? You guys have divines, so. Oh, whoa, what? Wait, mid lane just ended? Oh, they have no towers, right. Forgot about this. Oh, they called GG. Okay, right. My bad. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I mean that was a good game at that point. Man, I'm way too tired for this. Yeah. So basically your early game as your Earthshaker defines how the game goes. Quap made pretty big plays, I think. Yeah, no, I'm quite impressed with the quad. Like, I think she should have got the MKB instead of the X, but I couldn't really pin down much more about the quad's play. Not that she played perfect, she was caught out quite a bit, but I think, like, you don't want to talk too much about mechanical error, and it's not, like, she played well enough to win, and she did well for the team, kind of thing. Tinker got picked off way too much. Gyro got picked off way too much, and poor item build. Didn't finish the Titanic, got Divine. Sold boots. You should never sell boots. You need some sort of boots at all points in the game, because no matter how much damage you do, if you can't catch up to people because everyone's faster than you because you have no boots, you can't do any damage. In that game, in that last fight, he did do quite a bit, but he could have done more, and he would have been able to catch up to people. The Divines actually didn't do enough, which is weird to say. All in all, yes. Try to go for the Tranquil Soul Ring build on your Earthshaker. Get a mango in your first opening items with the Soul Ring recipe. With double clarity, because you have double clarity, that way you can fissure the waves. You never ended up fissuring the waves because you were 1v1 with the Visage and it didn't matter. But if you fissure out the waves and block your creeps and then go closer to the tower, you can get more EXP that way in general when you're against dual and tri lanes. But yeah, so that is Cherry's Earthshaker game.